This is the plaintiff, Arsenio Flores. He says he rented a house to the defendant, and he should have done a background check on her because she was a nightmare. He had to have her evicted. The vindictive woman left behind an awful mess and also had the nerve to leave 2 buckets of smelly urine behind. Yuck! He's suing for $4,582.65 to cover the damages. This is the defendant, Amy. She says the plaintiff is nothing more than a liar and is suing her so he can remodel his house and is trying to get her to pay for it. Dealing with him has been a complete nightmare. She owes nothing, and she believes the judge will see through his lies and award him zip. She's accused of making a real mess of things.
All parties, please raise your right hands. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Arsenio Flores.
Yes.
You are suing Amy. You've asked us not to mention your last name, and we'll respect that, for rent and damages that you say she did to an apartment that she rented from you. Tell me what happened.
I met the tenant back in July 2012. I had a beautiful townhouse for rent. A real estate agent called. She went to see the house. She liked the house. And then I met her at a Dunkin' Donuts to do the transaction. Mm-hmm. She handed me her business card, and when I looked at it, I honestly thought it was a saint walking on the face of this earth. I wasn't going to lose with Miss Amy.
Why?
The business card says she was a humanitarian. She had so many numbers in Haiti, Sri Lanka, US of A, Santo Domingo. I wasn't going to lose with this lady as a tenant.
Your Honor, I have
So
an
when
issue.
she-
Hold on.
One second.
So when we completed the transaction, I told her the rent was $1,650, and she pulls out the security deposit of $1,000. At that point, I should have known not to give her the apartment, but after seeing the card and having a nice conversation with her, I says, Miss Amy, I'll take the $1,000. Only to a month into the lease, in October of 2012, to get the first bounce check from Ms. Amy. So 2013, we were in and out of court, but it was workable. In 2014,
Workable? Most people don't want to be in and out of court.
I know.
What do you mean by workable?
So the first time we went into court was March 21st of 2014.
Your Honor, but none
before
of this
that.
has to do with the case.
Let me explain to you how court works. You know who doesn't drive the train? You. You need to wait until it's your turn. I'll decide if I'm hearing something that I am not going to consider because it doesn't really matter. You don't get to say that, all right? So just chill. That's the second time you interrupt. Don't let there be a third. It's not going to help your case. Go ahead.
So in March, she worked out a workable agreement.
The
with
judge
Ms.
did.
Yes, the judge.
And what was
I
the
agreed.
workable agreement?
I agreed. Well, she was behind, so the judge looked at her and looked at me and says, can I divide this into monthly installments for her?
No interest?
No interest.
Okay, and that worked for you?
It worked. I wasn't going to throw her out.
What was her attitude then? Is it like it is in court now? Or was
Absolutely.
she like,
No,
oh,
absolutely.
I'm so sorry, I'm having trouble? What was it?
Honestly, she doesn't care.
Then why
Her
would you?
attitude-
Then why are you a sap?
It wasn't
If
that I was a sap.
if she really is in there and not saying I'm working, I'm trying, if she's just in there and she doesn't care, get her out and get somebody in there who's a humanitarian.
Yes. Well, the lease.
You know,
the lease.
who understands that you have a mortgage. You know.
Well, that was going to happen, Judge Milian, because the lease was ready to expire in September.
Except
early
for you.
September.
Then what did you
of
do?
2000. So I had to go to court. The judge looked at us and looked at me, and she goes, "What are you doing back here again?" So I said, "Judge, I don't want her there." The judge turned around, looked at Miss Amy and said, how much time do you need to move out of his house? He doesn't want you there anymore. Miss Amy said, December. December came.
I'm sorry, what month were we in?
We were in September.
Why does a person need 3 months to move out of the house?
Because he
Because
wanted
every
to-
time you went to court, somebody let you stay
because,
long?
Your Honor, I had surgery. I had cancer. I had a major chest surgery. I could certainly show you the
I don't need to
scar,
see that. I
and
just need you to
had
answer
have
me
it
what was the reason.
extended.
I don't know the reason.
It was
so I
extended
asking
because
you.
I was very,
I am
very
sorry
ill.
to hear that you were ill.
Yeah,
Okay. So when did you come in and tell that to the court?
I went into the court and asked for an extension.
In December?
And continued to pay. And I was paying every month. I was paying 3 weeks late on every month, but I was paying. And that, again, was the agreement with the court that it had to be, that it was due the last day of the month.
Why would rent be due the last day of the month?
Because
it's due for everybody. For mere mortals, it's the first day of the month.
Because I got lucky.
Yeah, you did.
I have an inch of emails back and forth of, at best, an adversarial relationship.
Yeah, I don't know why either one of you would continue to tolerate it. So let's talk about a couple things, because you have a lawsuit that is basically, part of it is the rent, but a huge portion of it is what you say she did to damage the place because of this adversarial relationship, according to you and her, that you had. But you say she damaged the place, and I presume you say you did not.
No,
correct?
I did not.
Okay, now let's hear from you, and let's see the pictures of what you say she damaged. What is that?
This is your pictures of
that
what she
scares
did.
me.
Your Honor, so she was supposed to leave May 31st. She extended her stay until June 4th.
Excuse me,
she
Your
was
Honor, my lease is...
Listen to me, okay? We have an orderly, I'm not gonna, you will get to respond to that, just not at the same time, okay? So tell me about what was damaged.
So, Judge, on June 4th, when I opened when I put the key into the first lock, it was jammed. I prayed to God that the second lock would open, and it did. And when I opened the door, the stench that came out of that place was remarkable. Why? Because Miss Amy here left me 2 Home Depot buckets, and I thought it was a gift. And when I looked in, they were full of urine, toilet paper, and the pictures are there. I had to close it.
Urine?
No.
Urine?
There was 2 buckets filled.
Urine, toilet
paper, and cigarette butts. And the house having 2 bathrooms, they could have done the decency of using the bathroom. I thank God that they didn't throw it on my wood floors. When the smell, I went to open up that first window because the stench was horrendous. And when I opened up the window, I noticed the window was cracked. And I said, oh, Lord, what else? I looked at my floors, and you can see my wood floors were deliberately scratched. You can take furniture, you can move a table, and it's not going to make the scratches that were on that floor that day.
Where's the mailbox?
She took that the day after.
She took the mailbox?
She took the mailbox because her friend said, Arsenio.
Who took the mailbox? Who did this to the floor?
Your Honor,
look at the floor. Did you see the pictures of the floor? Have you seen these pictures?
I haven't seen any of these pictures.
Did you paint the wall red?
2 walls red.
Did you paint 2 walls red?
When I moved in, yes, I did. When I moved in there in September, first of all, my lease starts...
Let me see the lease, and let me see what it says about painting.
On the 6th of the month.
The last lease. What happened to the windows that are cracked?
Your Honor...
And there's glass right there, so it just happened. It just happened. The windows have glass on the bottom. What do you think, that he broke it to frame you? The same guy who goes to court and says, it's workable.
I didn't also leave Home Depot buckets, so I don't know.
He says that they're Home Depot buckets, and they're full of urine and toilet paper and cigarette butts.
That makes no sense because, A, I have lung cancer, I don't smoke. B, there's 2 working bathrooms, so that doesn't make any sense either. And, Your Honor...
What happened to this door, my dear?
Your Honor, I can't see that far away. Even
okay, I'm going to give you this book as soon as I'm done looking through it. And I want you to respond to the things he's pointing out. Like, what happened to the mailbox?
I had swapped them out, but the original mailbox was in the garage. Then I left and gave him the keys to the permanent lockable mailbox. When I left, the mailbox was there.
Did you take pictures when you left?
I'm sorry?
Why would you take the mailbox? I don't know, but in my mind, the kind of person who would leave urine would also take a mailbox.
Okay, well, I didn't do that either.
Right, but do you understand who did? Are you suggesting to me, because there's only 2 possible culprits, you or him. You're both in front of me. So are you suggesting that I surmise by the testimony I've heard here today and everyone's demeanor that he's the kind of guy who would do all this to his apartment just to be able to sue you, for the pleasure of suing you later, when the guy is the kind of sap who sits there and, and lets a judge extend and extend and extend and never goes out, hires a lawyer, and removes you?
He's not a sap, Your Honor. He's a liar. There is enormous difference.
Yeah. By the way, was there a mailbox in the?
On June 4th, when she gave me the key, there was a black box there.
And then the next day,
it was gone.
Okay. And now, what happens here? What happened to the rug?
Your Honor, I can't see that far away.
I'm sorry.
The rugs upstairs, I had cleaned.
What happened to the rug?
Them 4 separate times. I don't know, Your Honor.
What do you mean you don't know? Are you suggesting he damaged the rugs to frame you?
I'm suggesting that maybe when they were moving out, something got spilt, but it wasn't intentional.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's intentional. All right, show her the wood floors. That's in the beginning. It's like page 3.
When I moved in, these floors were in this condition, very bad condition. They had never been refinished. And when I moved in, the day I moved in, the place wasn't painted, it was not clean, and the floors
Do you have
were...
pictures of when you moved in?
No, unfortunately.
Do you have pictures of when she moved in?
I have the pictures of taken on August 2012, the walkthrough, when the tenant gave me back
Your Honor,
their place.
Okay.
his response to, when I said about the floors, his response to me was, put a rug down. So, as far as I'm concerned, the floors were not damaged by us. It was normal wear and tear.
Oh, is it normal wear and tear or was it there beforehand? Because those are two different things.
The condition of the townhouse was not painted, and the floors needed to be finished when I moved in.
Do you have any proof of that? Because I have proof otherwise. I'm seeing pictures of a perfectly painted place with carpets that do not have stains and floors that are not supremely damaged by, I don't know what. It looks intentional. I'll be honest with you. You know what? I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, sweet pea.
And I'm telling him, he is
Never
really,
mind
this is
him. I'm
unbelievable.
looking, who am I going to believe, you and my lying eyes? I'm looking at the pictures of the way he handed it to you and the way you gave it back to him. Do you have pictures to show how the whole place needed painting? Is that in here and I just didn't see it yet? Oh, did she paint chalkboard paint
Yes, on the kitchen.
And he loved it. And he loved it and said his wife wanted it done in her kitchen. And I asked him permission
Do you have written permission?
No, that was a verbal conversation we had with the color and with the chalkboard. And he raved about it so much.
Leslie, I'm reading from your lease. Leslie shall make no alterations to the building or make any other improvements without the prior written consent.
Those aren't alterations, they're painting.
Painting is alteration. Welcome to the rule of law.
This is all like a big scam on his part. He's got all these houses he doesn't maintain.
And then there's number 21.
With every tenant. And then he acts like, oh, I'm a man of God. People that announce themselves as men of God don't need to be announced.
I'm going to have to remove you if you can't control yourself. And you know, all you're doing is showing me that you peed in 2 buckets when you do this.
Excuse
because you sound
me,
like a person who can't control herself. You really do. You sound like a person with no control.
Even there? And I never went into the house again after that. He's a liar.
Escort her out. I'm sorry. Good day.
I'm sorry too.
Okay.
Arsenio, your horse is gas.
Oh my God. To the left, ma'am.
Oh my
to
God.
the left. To the left, ma'am. To the left. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Curious, do you think tenants typically abuse the places, not respect the places that they rent?
I think sometimes they do. It depends on whether or not they take pride in where they live.
But as a rule, it's not their place. Do they respect it or do they abuse it?
I mean, it's your home. It's where you lay at. It's where you be at. So, of course, you're going to treat it with the utmost.
I could ask you the same question, but I gotta tell you, I mean, how many times have you been told you look like her?
Who's her?
Oh, come on.
I don't know.
Am I wrong here, Queen Latifah?
Oh my God, yes.
Am I wrong here?
Thank you. That's
You
a
look.
compliment.
It is a compliment.
Thank you. Thank
But
you.
you've been told this 1,000 times.
A couple times.
Yeah, going inside the courtroom.
I never got to ask her because she was so out of control. I had to take her out. But why did a business card say humanitarian?
I have it. Here's a card, and I read it. I said,
I mean, you know, I could print that card and be a complete jerk.
I said,
you know?
Miss Amy, you seem like a wonderful person. And she goes,
Okay,
well, I
your
have
judgment's
numbers.
a little off. Have we
Yes.
established that? Director of International Services.
Well, I like to give the people the benefit of the doubt, Judge, that's all.
But there's a different, this is not, like, if you have that kind of kindness in you, go volunteer in a soup kitchen, because she doesn't strike me as the kind of person who should have received your kindness. You understand?
Yes.
So it was just, you have mouths to feed, you have a family?
Yes.
Okay, then don't do this, because I'm sure you have a mortgage and you've got to pay it on time. The bank doesn't look at you and say, oh yeah, that's fine, no worries, you can just pay by the end of the month. Yeah, that doesn't happen. All right. You have $1,000 security deposit, so obviously I am
deducted it,
deducting
yes.
that from the total, and I'm finding in your favor in the amount of $4,582.65. Good luck.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, so the defendant's right here with a chance to have a last word on the case. Anything you need to say is this is your chance.
Arsenio Flores is a liar. Nobody peed in buckets. He testified that the floors, he put evidence in that the floors were ruined.
You think you've been portrayed unjustly and
because
unfairly.
I'm more of a up-in-your-face person, and he's a cunning, manipulative man who lies.
Okay.
He lies, and that's it. I tell you like it is. Maybe I don't do it with flowers and making it look nice, but I'm not going to lie. And as far as anybody's humanitarian comments, I don't consider myself a humanitarian, but I have been to many countries, set up feeding sites, set up medical sites. Google us and find out what we've done. We set up medical and feeding sites.
All right. All right, so step on in here.
Kurt, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, you too, you too.
look
So what
handsome.
about the case?
Kurt, I try to find the goodness in people until they mess up. And I came in happy. I'm going to leave happy. I just made 15 years married to a lovely wife who served in the US of A Army, my wonderful son and my daughter who's expecting a little baby Chloe, so I am happy.
Congratulations.
I am happy.
All right.
And the judge was fabulous, and you look wonderful.
Great day.
Thank you so
Harvey?
much, Kurt.
By the way, when people describe themselves in a wonky way, like, humanitarian, beware.